just like the word boundaries, it's now like one of these buzzwords we're using, right? Because growing up, a lot of people didn't have boundaries. You feel like, I have to say yes. You don't know that when you actually say no to something, you're saying yes to something else. And people don't pause and actually ask themselves, do I really want to do this, or am I expected to do this? Or is it
100%.
Is it going to be aib? Is it going to be haram? Is it going to be rude?
And also taking into consideration what everyone else thinks, like that's not a thing for me. And I think that's probably the thing that's been hardest for me in Egypt.
ممكن أطلب منكم طلب بليز؟ ممكن تعملوا سبسكرايب هنا على يوتيوب قبل ما الحلقة تبتدي، لأن دي الطريقة الوحيدة أن البودكاست يكبر بيها ويوصل لناس بتحب المواضيع دي.
عارفين كده لما ساعات نقعد نفكر مع نفسنا، أنا بكره المدرسة بجد، أنا حسيت إن أنا ضيعت سنين كتير من حياتي بتعلم حاجات مش عايزة أتعلمها. أو دلوقتي أنا مثلا كأم أقعد أفكر، أنا حاسة إن ولادي بيروحوا المدرسة بس في حاجات كتير قوي ممكن يتعلموها في الدنيا هم مش بيتعلموها، ومش بلحق أعلمها لهم لأنه 3/4 وقتهم في المدرسة. الموضوع مش موضوعي، الموضوع موضوع أريال. بس قبل ما أعرفكم عليها أنا هقول لكم إن الحلقة هتبقى كلها بالإنجليش obviously، لأن اللي عارفها ومش عارفها عايزة أقول لكم إن هي مش مصرية ولكنها عاشت في مصر 10 سنين تقريبا، ودلوقتي هي عايشة all over the world. هتحكي لنا عن الهوم-سكولينج، هتحكي لنا عن الworldschooling، حبها للسفر، جوزها زواجها من مصري، وحاجات تانية كتير. Arielle, I am so happy that you're here.
I'm super excited.
And this is the first episode, by the way, that is 100% in English. Perfect. So I'm loving this. And it's your first podcast.
It's my first podcast.
Cool. We're cool. We're unfiltered. We're going to go everywhere, talk about everything. I'm just so excited that you're here, honestly. And I introduced, I think, my favorite part about you, which is like a world traveler, citizen of the world, somewhere who's, every time you go on Instagram, you're going to find her somewhere talking, doing something cool, experiencing something new. But also, she is the founder of a beautiful, beautiful company, which I will let you start by talking about it, because it's a brilliant initiative that you started. And you probably have seen her carriers everywhere, but I'll let her introduce herself. Do you want to introduce yourself and what you do?
Yeah, I can do that. Yeah. So my name is Arielle. I have been living in Egypt for 10 years now. I'm originally from Miami, but before moving to Egypt was moving around a lot. And then this is where we ended up settling. And when I first came here, I was working as a teacher originally, and have worn many hats since then. The most recent being I started a baby wearing business, which my husband now runs, and we're planning to expand that into other baby products very soon. So that's exciting. And yeah, I guess my biggest hat now is a mother of 2 and all the roles that come with being a mom, which is a lot.
And as a mom, you're inspirational to so many people. And I think you know that because we can see it in your eyes whenever you're talking about anything motherhood or parenting related, or even you're talking to your kids, you inspire people. You're like, okay, if this is what it looks like to become a mom, then I want to become a mom. I mean, I've been a mom for 12 years, but I still learn a lot from you and the way you are with your kids. Honestly, it's beautiful. But I'm going to take it back to the origins of Arielle. When she moved to Egypt, she married Hashim, who's an Egyptian. How did you get this mindset aligned? Because I think this is the start of everything, to find that partner who happens to come from a completely different background.
Completely different.
And make sure that you're aligned. How did that happen?
So we actually met abroad. So we were living abroad. It's funny because we were doing a program which is similar to how we're now schooling our kids. So we went to business school in this global business program where you travel and live for 1 year in 3 continents. So we met in Belgium, studied together there for 4 months with a cohort of like 40 students from 15 countries. So it was amazing. And we were friends during that. And then we moved to India next, and then ended in New York. So a full year, like traveling, learning. And so we already had that in common. Like, I think that was kind of the glue that was the really big commonality, is that we love to travel. We love to experience different things. We love to be out of our comfort zone. Then of course, coming to Egypt, I won't say like that changed, but there were all these other things that started coming up that maybe I hadn't seen with him abroad or seen with what a relationship would be like. Mm-hmm. So very early on, when we decided we're in this for the long haul, we actually did premarital counseling, which is funny because when I tell people that in Egypt, they're like, why would you do marital counseling? Like, is something wrong? No, everything was fine, and I wanted to keep it fine. Nothing was kasar, alhamdulillah, but I wanted to keep it that way. And I had also seen so many like mixed couples where there was a foreigner and an Egyptian, or it didn't have to be Egyptian, just mixed couples where there was a difference in background, how they were raised, how they looked at marriage, finances, like all of these things. And then they got married because they loved each other, and you kind of saw all of that start to crumble. So we went over everything before we got married, like everything you can imagine, from finances to sex to work to how we would feel if one person's making more than the other. What would that look like? We even talked about, like, if our marriage didn't work, what would that look like? Because we're from different countries. We want to raise our kids differently. What would it look like if things didn't work out? Would I leave with the kids? Would, you know, like all of these kind of scenarios we walked through, which I think gave me a lot of comfort and like, okay, I know we're on the same page. And it also gave us the tools for the things that were not on the same page, how to kind of work through those and find like the common ground.
I think it's brilliant what you did, by the way, and it's very, very healthy. And I don't think I've done the exact same thing with my husband. Like, we've had some of these conversations, but I think the more conversations you have, the better, because you just align.
So important.
And
I find it a lot here also. I think people, I don't know if it's a cultural thing or like how, I'm not sure what it comes back to. People kind of rush to get married. And I see it so often with even friends who are like married and they're now finding all of these things that aren't working, whether it's like work-life balance or his role as a father or these kind of things that had never been discussed. And they both came with different ideas. So I don't even think it has to be cross-cultural. I think anytime you're committing to spending your life with someone who is, because we're all people who bring our own lived experiences into a relationship, how we saw our parents communicate, how we saw them. And we all have things that we maybe have internally that you won't see from someone in a year of dating or 2 years or 5 years even, until you're together, living in a house, trying to keep that house clean, raising kids, trying to balance work. All of these things like start coming up.
Especially, I mean, you're saying, yes, even if two people belong to the same culture or the same anything, like they grew up in the same city, you still don't know what it's like to actually be living with this person.
For sure.
When you move
traveling with them, everything.
Yeah. Even when you start living with a friend and you become roommates, this relationship could go completely bad. You could be really good friends at school, but once you live together, everything changes. But Arielle, coming back to the cultural differences, like, it remains a thing, right? Because you come from a background, he comes from a background. What do you do? I mean, I'm not going to call them wild ideas because I love your wild ideas, but the way you're living, it's not very conventional for a typical Egyptian. So would you say most of the ideas that you want to live, are they yours or Hashem's?
They're all mine. I'm trying to think if Hashem's brought any crazy ideas. I think we balance each other, because if Hashem was not, like, he's an engineer, he's much more like logical. I'm the creative. I have all these ideas. I literally want to live 100 lives. Like, we'll go on a trip and halfway in the trip, I'm like, Hashem, I'm going to live here. And he's like, why Albania? And I'm like, oh, because I want to live in a cottage in the forest and raise the kids running through the forest. He's like, where did that come from? Like 2 weeks ago, you wanted to live on the beach and open an Airbnb. And like, I have all these ideas, and he kind of grounds me, which I think is important, because otherwise it would be pure chaos. Like, it's already a lot of chaos, but he's very much the voice of reason. But I don't think he brings the crazy ideas to the table. I think his craziest idea was like marrying me, probably.
Also his best idea.
It's his best idea. But Hashem, like, I think people sometimes see online and see me doing things and think like Hashem's either just along for the ride, or maybe he just like doesn't say no. And that's not the reality. He very much is the one who's asking the questions and seeing, is this really, like, for example, I think you saw, like, we had a home birth with my second, and Hashem was 100% on board because we went through the steps. Like, we watched documentaries on it. We spoke to multiple doctors. We spoke to people together, spoke to people who had done it. And like, we took all of this and then made a decision together. It's not like I was like, here's what I'm doing and you're either in or out. Like,
no, but I really like what you said. You basically summed it up. Like, you're the one who comes up with the creative, out of the box, or even wild ideas. Then he listens and he tries to ground you. If it's doable, he's open to it. And actually, it's a beautiful quality to have in a partner or a husband, right? Is that someone who listens to your ideas and we can apply this, we can't apply this. He's open to your ideas. He doesn't just say no. So this makes a very supportive husband.
For
like,
sure. He also, like, because he's, again, since I think he's the engineer brain, he knows how to make those ideas happen. So I'll say something and then he's like, okay, here's the steps kind of we have to do. Like, when we wanted to move last summer to Zanzibar, we were renting a house. And he's like, okay, it's not logical to rent a house here and pay rent and also go move somewhere. So we have to move our things, like, into my parents. And I pushed back and was like, I don't want to have our base at your parents' place. But then he went through and made sense. So I think I bring maybe the crazy wild ideas and he brings the actual, like, logical ideas. And there's sometimes pushback from me too.
Yeah, no, I love that you're breaking this down, because we never, I mean, as someone who's just consuming content or watching what you're doing, it might seem like he's just along for the ride or just saying yes, but no, he's clearly saying no, or he's saying yes, but here's how we can do it.
Exactly. Okay, like the logical way to do things, not like the let's pick up, and because I would definitely do it like the not logical way.
No, but that's nice. You're complementing each other in a nice way. So this is the foundation of Arielle and Hashem as a couple. But once you became a family of 4, there are 2 more people thrown in the mix,
Spiraled.
right?
Everything spiraled.
What is this responsibility? And suddenly you have to think of all the values, and you're going to pick up and take these kids with you everywhere. So how did you adapt or change the mindset from it's just as a couple living in Egypt or traveling or doing whatever to now we are a family of 4? Like you were talking about adaptation and resilience and the things that you wanted to instill in your kids when they were still kids, and how did you do this movement? And we're gonna go now to the travel and everything, but like before the travel you had to ingrain these in them.
I think for my son, it was naturally ingrained because he was born at the start of COVID. So we naturally just had to shift our entire lives and how we plan to raise him. So that was fun. But I think aside from that, it's not like I had this vision, like when I was pregnant, we're going to do all these crazy things. It's like I have I don't know if it's like a purpose, but I like to live my life in a way that's aligned and like with intention. Mm-hmm. I think those are the 2 things I like bring into everything I do. So intention, meaning like I'm not just doing things because that's how they should be done. I question things and I'm like, will this work for us? What would work for us? What's the life I want to live? And then alignment in everything I do. Like, does this align with my values? Does it align with the vision for my life? Does it align with like our marriage, how we want to raise our kids? And I put that into everything when it comes to education, when it comes to where we want to live, when it comes to the friends my kids are around, when it comes to our friends, like everything I'm always questioning, like, does this really align with kind of the life I want to live and the intentional life I want to live, not just the life that's expected or like the steps that are kind of expected for us to live our life.
You're not just ticking boxes, you're choosing your path.
I'm not ticking boxes, exactly. And I think also questioning things has always been, like, it's something that maybe I was raised with. My family, like, it was always, I was allowed to talk back and question things and kind of fight back on things. And I still do that, not just with like friends and marriage and kids, but with everything. Like if I'm told, okay, I remember when I was pregnant with my son, I went to a doctor and I had this idea of how when I gave birth, and within like 5 minutes of meeting him, I like tapped my husband and we like left that office because I was like, no, he won't even let me ask questions. And I think that's kind of common with doctors here. It's like, no, I'm the doctor. This is what you're going to do. I was like, that's not going to work for us. Like this relationship isn't going anywhere. And I do that with everything. Like I like to question and I like to understand things and see, is this really what I want to do? Not just because this is how you're supposed to do it.
And it's nice that you're saying that you've always been like that. I feel like it's a quality that a lot of people, just like the word boundaries, it's now like one of these buzzwords we're using, right? Because growing up, a lot of people didn't have boundaries. You feel like, I have to say yes. You don't know that when you actually say no to something, you're saying yes to something else. And people don't pause and actually ask themselves, do I really want to do this, or am I expected to do this? Or is it
100%.
Is it going to be aib? Is it going to be haram? Is it going to be rude?
And also taking into consideration what everyone else thinks, like that's not a thing for me. And I think that's probably the thing that's been hardest for me in Egypt. Like totally candidly, that's the thing that's been the hardest for me in Egypt, is I feel like there's such an emphasis on what other people will think. And it seeps into everything. Like, and you understand, when we were designing our house, I remember like my mother-in-law coming and being like, where are guests going to sit when they come? Because I had started designing it with like our family in mind. Okay, we need space for us to sit. We need a small space for our friends. And then when we started talking about having kids, I'm like, my kids need a space because it's my kids' home.
They live here.
And they was like, but where's the space for the guest? I'm like, we have guests like once every 6 months. Like maybe because we're not that. Even if we don't have guests, it's like our friends with their kids. So I actually want the kids to play together while they're near us. And I just remember at that point realizing like so much is not to please others, but to like, and I don't even know if it's pleasing or impressing, but there's always this consideration of what others will think, or making sure that other people are comfortable with your decisions, for example. Like I get this question a lot, what do your in-laws think of you doing this? Or what do your parents think of you doing this? And I'm living my life, like a life that I want and that my husband wants and that we want for our kids, and hopefully our kids will want. And we do check in with them often, like, is this what you want to do? Is this what you want to do? But it's our life, and it's not the neighbor's life, and it's not my in-laws lived a beautiful life and they still were present in their life, but it's not their life that I'm designing, or the guest, or the neighbor, or...
And with all due respect to everyone, right? You don't have to be everybody's cup of tea. If they don't like what you're doing, and I can only imagine how many people you've offended, right? But guess what? That's okay. At the end of the day, it's your life. It's how you're living. And if it's, you only get one life. Like, what is the point of actually...
It sounds so cliche, the whole like YOLO thing, but it's
true.
So true. We only get one life. And like, we only have so many years, and you always see things like you get this many summers, you get this many. And when you put it into perspective, it's like, I get this many years with my kids and I'm going to make the most of them. And I'm going to be present and I'm going to like have amazing experiences and do all of this.
And it's actually very simple. Like you're looking at it from like a broader perspective, like you have this many summer with your kids. But actually, if you look at it from a daily perspective, you know, these days when you, at the end of the day, if you put your head on the pillow and you start thinking like, why did I do that? Why did I overstay? Why did I sleep late? Why did I come? All these questions that keep you up at night are a result of doing things that you didn't want to do. So why don't you, you know,
just do things that
take
you want to
control,
do.
yeah.
It sounds so simple.
It
like
is.
in theory, when I talk about this with people, like, and even friends, and I'm just like, they're like, but what did so-and-so think? I'm like, I really genuinely don't care. And they're like, aren't you worried about offending them? And it's like, well, not really. Because, I mean, I can't live my life like in this mindset of trying to worry about pleasing people, live a life that they're comfortable with. Also, this idea of like asking people what they think of things in my life. Like, I'm not going to take advice from someone who's living a life I don't want to live. And I get this all the time, like, oh, I wouldn't do this, or I wouldn't do this.
And that's okay.
That's great.
Yeah.
And I'm not sharing things on my page to say everyone should have a home birth, everyone should homeschool. I think my message, or what I believe more, is that everyone should live a life that aligns with them and their values and how they want to live. Again, not just ticking the boxes, not just living a life because you want to please others, not doing it because it's what's expected, doing it because you want to, and because it's the vision that you have for you and your life and your family. And I don't think that my vision for my life should be anyone else's vision.
No, I agree. Okay, when you had the vision of your life, I mean, obviously, I don't know if you had homeschooling or Worldschooling as a plan. So my question to you is, did it come as like a result of the life that you wanted to have, or did you actually consider it so it can enable you to live the life that you want to live?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think it's a mix of both. So I think each of the things, they kind of like it starts with one crazy decision, and then it kind of like spirals and you realize, oh, I've made a lot of crazy choices, or what I guess people would consider crazy. So the Worldschooling thing, I never said like, we're going to world school. It was very much, I was really like, in all honesty, done with Cairo, realizing that I'm not growing here anymore. It's not serving me in the same way it once did. I'm very comfortable here. We have like a very, I guess, easy life here.
That's one of the pros of living here.
It's one of the
honestly,
perks here. But I just felt like my growth is kind of stagnant right now. This isn't what I want for my kids. I was starting to see things I didn't love for them and for me. And I was like, okay, let's get out for a little bit to get some perspective. Like, that's how Zanzibar came to be. I told my husband, like, I really need out.
That was a year ago.
Yeah, that was exactly a year ago. Like, I need out. I'm kind of at my wit's end. And I even told him, I was like, I want to do this before I start to build like resentment for Egypt, because I can feel those feelings of I'm not super happy here. But I'm starting to feel that. Let's get out for a bit and see, like, is this me? Is this the place? And then we got out and I was like, okay, it's not me. Like,
just 1 second. When you threw this wild idea at Hashim, how did he take it?
Well, it doesn't sound that wild in the beginning. It's like, let's go to Zanzibar for a couple months. Like, Cairo's really hot. It's going to be empty anyway. Everyone's going to Sahel. We hate Sahel. Like, it's not our thing. So it's like, it's a very, I ease him. And I don't tell him like, let's move for the next 10 years.
No, but I love it because do you know how many people get these ideas and they would always say, one of my favorite questions I ask to friends, even like, if you could close your eyes and picture yourself living anywhere and doing anything, where would you be? They'd be like, I'd open a surf club in Bali. Like, why aren't you doing it? I can't. That's why I'm asking you. It's wild because it's, to so many people, it's just this parallel life I will never get to live. But you actually found a way to go and live it. That's why I'm going back to the idea of when you threw it at him.
Yeah, so that's good that you mentioned that, because I guess it's actually a step back or two. I started to realize a few months before that. And at that point I realized, okay, how can I make this happen? Again, Hashim, voice of reason. I got a remote job. I applied for like probably 40 remote jobs. I was just like, okay, I need to get all my ducks in a row. Mm-hmm. Then again, we decided to leave the house we were renting. Like, we took the steps to make it happen. And Hashim was also quite burned out. Like, it's not like he was like, oh, everything here is great.
So it was the right moment.
Perfect. Yeah. Like, he had just finished like a huge construction project. He was like feeling really done with here and his field and like all of that. So he was also at that point. So it was very much like, okay, let's get out for a bit. And in my head, I was like, I know I'm going to love this and want to keep going, so I should think ahead. But in Hashim's head, it was like, let's do this for a few months. So I also like ease him into things because I don't want to like...
Don't get me wrong. I was totally rooting for him. Like, Zanzibar, I wonder what's next. What are they going to do next? Like, it's a beautiful idea. Okay, so Worldschooling. To those who don't know what it means to world school or homeschool, what does it mean? What does it look like for you?
Yeah, like schooling outside the system.
Yes.
So I think it's interesting because there are so many ways now. Like, it's 2026. Like, and if you look at education has been the same for like hundreds of years. And not just that, like the base of education was actually started because they wanted to create workers during the Industrial Revolution. Like, it has a whole history to it that just doesn't make sense for me in like the times we're living in and the way I want to live and raise my kids. So that doesn't mean that there's only like one option or two options. There's so many ways to raise your kids outside of like the ticking box of, okay, international school. Okay, look at which one has the best name. Okay, look at which one looks the best. If I tell my friends my kids go here, like all of this list, I threw it in the garbage. I tried to follow it. My son's first year of school, actually. I like went through the list and I went for one of the top international schools that everyone raved about and said it's like one of the best schools in Egypt. And I was shocked because it just didn't, like there was nothing that I liked about it, really. Like there were so few things. And I felt this like pit in my stomach every day when I was sending my kid to school. And I was like, I shouldn't feel this. Like I shouldn't feel this feeling. Like, again, intuition. Like I really let my decisions be led by my intuition and how I'm feeling, especially as a mother. Like all of my parenting decisions come from intuition. Intuition, a bit of research, but like my gut feeling. So it didn't feel great. Tried another international school. Same, still not there. And started looking into like alternative schooling options. So there's like micro schools, which even in Egypt there are some, and they're, I would say,
Smaller.
They follow different academic systems. Then there's homeschooling, which can be done, again, so many ways. Like you can homeschool your kids, you can hire tutors and outsource to homeschool. Like it doesn't mean sitting with your kids at a table with books all day. And then there's people who unschool, which is like completely kind of throwing away the idea of education and schooling and doing a completely different way to do it. Unschooling.
Love it.
It's a whole, like, you'll kind of find a lot of them in the US. Families that are just like raising their kids on farms, teaching them about life, kind of weaving lessons into everyday life, following their kids' interests to teach them, like unschooling. Throw away the core curriculum, that's what they're following. For us, there's also Worldschooling, which I think you've seen on my page, which is just teaching your kids through the world, through travel. And people do that different ways. They do online schooling now. Like there are so many
That's the best. I mean,
directions.
If everybody could homeschool, if it was that easy, I'm sure more and more people were doing. What I want to say is I'm sure a lot of people who might be watching us right now might be a little bit triggered by this topic because at the moment a lot of us are actually our kids are distance learning. But I want to highlight there's a very big difference between homeschooling and distance learning. Distance learning, you are forced, I'm using the word forced to be your kid's educator or teacher through a curriculum that you did not design and is not yours, and everything is like time, so it creates a lot of friction at home.
It's trying to recreate the school environment at home, which is not what
on
homeschooling
a screen
is.
Like I was looking at I was telling you, I think at my 5-year-old, and I had to teach her to mute herself and unmute herself and when to raise her hand and talk this, and then in the middle of this all I saw her just doodling a unicorn and a rainbow, and I'm like,
That's what she should be doing.
Just stop. Let's just switch it off. And I love her teacher so much, but I'm like, she's 5 years old. She can't focus anymore. She couldn't. She wants to draw a unicorn.
Shouldn't even been looking like at a screen for hours at this age.
She couldn't.
And I get that this is out of like necessity, and this is how the system's designed, but homeschooling isn't recreating school at home.
No, that's what I wanted to highlight.
Yeah, not recreating a school environment. Like I'm not like raising a child who's illiterate and doesn't know basic math. Like we're covering those things. I found online curriculums, like a language arts one, a math one, and then that takes an hour and a half to 2 hours a day. That's it. And we're doing it through games and through hands-on activities, and we're having fun. And then he's playing for the rest of the day. Like genuinely, he's playing.
As he should be.
He's playing. Like he's in the garden building ant farms, and then today he like went and got paper and magazines, and he made this giant collage of like his own island, and he found old magazines we had from Tanzania and was cutting out people who are from like Maasai from Zanzibar and was putting them on his island and like giving them jobs and giving himself jobs and then bringing in animals.
How old is he now?
6.
So
he created this whole like city island today and was just having fun.
What happens when he starts getting to the age where they have to sit through actual exams, like a 6-year-old up to 10? So I'm asking you because I genuinely don't know. Like, if you're homeschooling or Worldschooling, do you go through a process of actual exams, anything virtual, let's say the age of 10, 12, 15 when they're a bit older, or not necessarily?
So I think that I'm not designing our life around exams. Like I think exams for me are not one of the most important critical things of who they become and how they live. So I'm not focused on the exams. But for people who did want to homeschool and are focused on exams, you would be able to like enroll your children in a local school, pay that tuition, have them sit in exams, still prepare them for exams. But I'm really not focused on that. I know that like might blow some people's minds because exams are so, I don't want to say critical, but so important here as part of the society and the culture and the schooling system, they're not important to me. So,
I mean, you do you, and people do whatever they want to do. At the end of the day, you're saying that's your life, and I fully respect that you're talking about it openly and sharing. On the contrary, what I think is maybe, what if there's just one person listening to us right now and they're thinking, I don't agree with exams, how can I do it? You're giving them hope that you can actually do it. It's doable. It may not be the mainstream conventional way of doing things, but it can be done.
So many ways. So like one of the things that I've learned is that there's something called umbrella schools, for example. So they're US, basically online portfolio schools, where you could say, there's one, for example, called Clonlara. They have a physical campus in the US and an online school that's a certified school. So what you can do is upload a portfolio of what your child's learning, the experiences they're having, the classes they're taking, and they will spit out a transcript that will make sure they have their like learning records year by year.
Umbrella
There's
schooling.
so many.
Okay.
Yeah. So there are like so many ways. That's what I mean. When I say like I'm not doing something, I don't expect or even think anyone should do things like I am because I'm doing it that way or because it aligns with my values and how I want to live my life and how I want to raise my kids. My whole point is that you can find, if you're someone who's saying, I'm not happy with the school system, my child's not happy, this isn't working for us, why? My question would be, why are you doing something that's not working for you and your child?
It's a great question. And just because you don't know about it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And what I'm hearing from what you're saying is that you may have started, maybe they've been into school for a couple of years. You can decide to change your mind even halfway through. There's no,
you can change your mind. You're not locked in. It's not a prison.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Feels like a prison.
It does. Oh, it does. Of course it does. Don't get me started. What about universities? How do you feel about universities eventually?
I mean, I went to university. My husband went to university. I went to business school. Like, I do think education is very important. If my child wanted to go to university, I would totally fully support them. If they didn't want to, I would also fully support them. And I think it's really hard to think, I mean, my kid is 6 and 3. It's really hard for me to think 13, 15 years down the line because of how rapidly the world is changing. I'm not sure if university as we know it will exist in the same way in 10 years. And I have so many doubts that it will because of how things are shaping literally day by day. Like if we're watching how technology is changing, how the world is changing, how borders are changing, how so many things are changing, which some for the better, some for the worse. I question all the time, like, will university even be something that's not even mandatory? Will it even exist? It might be obsolete.
Yeah.
So again, I'm not making decisions for a future that is that uncertain. And if my kids wanted to go to university, they would not be able to go to an Egyptian public university without their schooling records here, without their exams here. And I'm okay with that because, again, the world is big. There are so many universities.
They can go somewhere else.
So many places. And so many schools now are accepting. I'm in all these homeschooling groups on Facebook, Worldschooling groups on Facebook. And I'm reading posts from parents who world-schooled their kids for 14 years, 10 years. And I guess this is kind of the first generation that's done that. And I'm able to see the results and the posts from those parents saying, my child just applied to Cornell and they got in. And all of these kind of success stories that show, like, I don't think, maybe in Egypt, I'm more of a pioneer doing something that hasn't been done. But I'm not the first one to do this. And there are families that have been doing this for the last, let's say, 20 years, probably longer, but 20 years that we can kind of track and see, and it's becoming a movement.
There are ways you can put your kids in school for a little bit and then decide to homeschool, or you can do the opposite. You can start homeschooling them all the way. They can do exams, or they can choose not to do exams. You can decide to homeschool them for 15, 16 years. They can go to university or not to university. The world is your oyster. What I wanted to hear is that it's just flexible.
Life is flexible.
Yeah.
Again, I think that's what people don't question. I think there's this, and maybe that's because it's changed generation to generation. Like our parents were raised in a world that I don't think was as flexible. And even we were raised in a world that doesn't feel as flexible. I don't think our children are going into a world that isn't flexible. I think opportunities are unlimited. Like there are so many, again, ways to live, ways for them to design their own life. Like my hope for my kids is they'll design a life that works for them, not the life that I designed. So I have the blessing of designing their childhood and creating this family that I love and that I love living with and I love the way we live. But that doesn't mean in 15 years my son won't come to me and say, you know what, I want to go move to Australia and be a surf coach. And I'm going to say, that's amazing. Like, go do it. And he also might say that he wants to be a doctor and go into schooling. And he might decide in high school, this is the path he wants to take. And I would support that and find a way to make it happen. Mm-hmm. And again, there are so many ways. So again, if let's say he couldn't go back into an international school in Egypt, let's say, because he didn't have the papers or the exams and that was an issue, there are online schools. There are like so many different things we can do. There's always a way. So I'm not living with this limited view of because this is how it should be done or because this is how everyone else does it. This is how we have to do it.
Okay, what about friendships? Because I think I was telling you about because right now, okay, so we've been in Egypt for a couple of weeks, you know, because of the situation back home in Dubai. I had to bring my kids here. We are doing distance learning. It is driving us crazy. But my 12-year-old Chloe, she's going through the roughest time because she's away from her friends. And at this age, a 12-year-old, her life is her friends. And as someone, even as an adult, you know, I miss my friends. I miss let's call it the relationships that really matter. And you know, traveling is great. Living in all these countries is great. But if only you can just take a magic wand like Harry Potter and transport all your friends with you everywhere, we can't do that. So what are you doing to maintain these friendships or these connections and relationships with the people that you want to keep in your life as an adult and for your children?
This is such a good question. I love this. Did you think of this one before?
I mean, friendship was circled like that. And it's
No, I love this. So I think there are so many layers to this question. First of all, kids only know the life that we introduce them to or bring them into. And I think it's a really interesting concept because if you look at, so in the Worldschooling community, there are families with teenagers who have been doing this for 14 years. And this is the life they know. And they don't have this conceptual idea of, you know, living in a neighborhood where your neighbors are your friends and your school friends are your friends and your sporting club friends are your friends. Like their friends are the kids they've met on their travels and they reconnect with. And even with my kids, we did Zanzibar. We're going back hopefully this summer. And my son is so excited because one of his best friends lives there. And the friendships are so deep because even though we only spent 2 months together, we spent almost every day together for 2 months, having adventures, having family sleepovers, building these like memories that he talks about all the time. And that's his idea of a deep friendship. And I love that for him. And he wants to go back and we're planning and they FaceTime. And I think that's also a beautiful friendship. So that's one part of it. Also, something that I'm sure you might bring up and that most people bring up is the socializing aspect of homeschool.
Yeah.
And I think that's such a funny question because how are your kids being socialized if they go to normal school? Like, let's just run through the day, right? You arrive at school, you have a few minutes to maybe play in the garden or at recess, and then you're put in a classroom where you're not allowed to talk. You're not supposed to whisper. You're not supposed to pass notes. You're not supposed to do this. You're put classroom to classroom to classroom. And you have
many rules.
How many hours of that day are the kids actually socializing? Like actually socializing? An hour, maybe? If we break down, you know, lunch.
At most.
And recess, an hour, okay? And that socialization, for me, does not feel like the definition of socialization. Because socialization doesn't mean being in a group of peers the same age as you in an environment that's like when else in our lives do we sit in a room of people the same age as us with those guidelines and call it socializing? I think my kids socialize more than kids who are in school because they're socialized amongst different generations, different age ranges. They're learning to go out in the world and to talk to people from different social circles, from different classes, from different, like they are socializing more than I socialized in school. And I think that's also a beautiful thing. I don't really want them in an environment of people that are the same age, same social class, same religion, same worldview, same all of that, and calling that like socializing. So that's one part of it. I think for us as adults, we've found more socializing and more community in the 6 months of this year in Worldschooling than we ever did here.
Because you find people that you're aligned with.
Yes. And because I think when you're in the hustle and bustle of, let's say, traditional life or the rat race or the Matrix or whatever you want to call this that we're all doing.
It is definitely the Matrix.
Whatever you want to call it. Yes, you go for dinner with your friends. Yes, you go for whatever. But you also are taking care of your house. You're taking care of the kids. You're making sure the house is clean. You're doing all your errands. You're going to work. Your life revolves around the checklist. And then socializing is just another checklist on the list of, okay, I have to see my friends once a week or I have to do this. Whereas when you're around people who are designing a life that they really like want to live and feels intentionally, socializing is weaved into everything, right? I'm going to a co-working space with another mom to work and to hang out.
So how do you find your people when you travel? That's
a good question. So there are 2 things we've been doing with Worldschooling. One is where we do more structured hubs. So there's a program called Boundless Life.
You work with them as well.
Yes, I run the social media. And this is a structured, incredible program, especially for people who want to like ease into Worldschooling and do it in a way that everything's taken care of. So there's an education center, there's a co-working space for if you work remotely or online, there's community events, and there are from 15 to 25 other families arriving the same day as you, leaving the same day as you, where your kids are in classes together, you're doing trips together on the weekends, like you're getting so much life in every day. That's how it feels. Like every day just feels full of life. Like if you
was it Boundless Life that got you wanting to do Worldschooling?
Yes.
So
it's funny.
You started the job before the actual
I think in the back of my mind, I always wanted to do it, but I think I had all of those kind of like imposter syndrome ideas that
You
I
were
can't do
manifesting
it.
it.
I was manifesting it, but I also had these like in the back of my head, no, I can't do this. Oh, it's going to be hard. My husband's Egyptian. His passport's so hard to travel with. Like all of these kind of blockers in my head of how are we going to do this? And then when I started running their social media and talking every day in DMs and through posts to families that were doing this and like getting to know them, I was like, oh, wait, like these families are doing it. A lot of them are not super duper like wealthy. I think I had this idea in my head of everyone who's doing this ticks these boxes, right? And then when I started meeting them, I'm like, no, this family actually has sold everything they own. They've made so many sacrifices. They've budgeted like no other. Like they're doing everything to make this happen because it's the life they want to live. Why can't I? Like what is stopping me from doing everything to make this life happen? So when we went to Zanzibar, we did not go with a program. We went on our own. Socializing was harder for sure, but we found our people. Like you find your people, I think, wherever you go. I think I struggle sometimes in Egypt to find my people because Egypt is like a country for me that's full of so many bubbles, like so many bubbles. And I don't feel like I fit into a lot of those bubbles. Maybe because I'm a foreigner, maybe it's because of like, I'm not sure what it is, but I really struggle to find like a bubble that I fit into. And I also don't really want to be put in a bubble. Like I'm a very fluid person. I have
like
a lot
all
of
the bubbles.
dimensions.
I want to have access to all the bubbles.
Yeah, like I want all the bubbles. And I also want to like flow between, and I want to find people who see the world this way, and I haven't found it here. So for me, the socializing aspect is easier when we're outside of Egypt. And I find it easier for my kids too, because maybe my kids are similar to me. And again, how they view the world is the way I've shown them to view the world. But also, like, they're very global kids, right? They have parents from 2 countries. They speak multiple languages. Like, they're growing up with a global worldview. And I think they feel like everywhere in the world is their home. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but we go in a place and within 2 days, like, they've made friends and they've met
that's
whoever
actually
owns
one of the
local
questions
shops.
that I wanted to ask you. Like, how long does it take you to establish 2 days, any kind of routine? Like, just a sense of where I am. 2 days, wow.
So when we flew to Zanzibar, we arrived, like, we got in, I think, at 2 p.m. I had a work call at 4 p.m. that I took on the taxi to our house. We set up the house that night, put them to bed, and they went to the local school we found the next morning. Like, no, just landed and then start our lives.
No time to waste.
No time to rest.
Love this.
And they loved it. Like for them, they loved it because they can just kind of slot into this life and then this is their life. And even I remember in Zanzibar, the first week, my son had a really hard time because I would say, like most kids, he's used to the food he's been fed. And in Zanzibar, they had school lunch at this local school, which was like, it's like, I'm not sure the word for it, but they mix flour with like a water and make kind of a doughy bread thing that you grab the food with and eat it. And then the food was like a lot of lentils and bean mixes and curries. And my son came the first day, he's like, you need to pack me a lunch. Like, I can't eat this. And I was like, well, you can, because that's what all the other kids are eating. And that's what they eat here. And that's what you're going to eat. And it took him like 3 days.
To
and
adapt.
3 days in,
Yeah.
I remember the school texting me and being like, both your kids love the food and they're finishing their plates and going for seconds. And I'm not saying that's everyone's experience, but I think it's very important we go to a place for them to really integrate and to not necessarily assimilate, because I don't think 3 months or 4 months or however long we stay is enough time to assimilate, but it's enough time to learn about the culture, to respect the culture, to make friends.
To figure out if you want to go back there. Like you were telling me, you figured out that you really like Zanzibar, you would like to go there again. So it's enough to get a sense.
Yes.
And figure out where to go from there.
And to find the best things of a place. Like we go there and we find things that really like bring us alive. I'm not saying everything there is perfect, but we found the things that make us happy, bring us joy, that our kids love, and we're going back for more of that. So
there must be some cons, right? Everything in the world, whether we love it so much or not, there must be pros and cons. So I want to hear about the cons of this kind of lifestyle from your perspective. Now that you've been living this life for almost a year, right?
Yeah, like on and off.
Yeah.
Okay, so there are definitely cons. I would say they depend on the person. For us, this is going to sound really spoiled, and I'm going to say it because you said we're going to stay unfiltered. We are really lucky in Egypt that we have a very comfortable and easy life, meaning that we have someone, and again, I say this with like a sense of shame because it's a bit embarrassing. We have someone who cleans our house daily. That is such a privilege, and it's something that I've gotten really accustomed to in living here. And I think that's also, again, one of the reasons I want to leave, because I don't like when I become so accustomed to something that it becomes so easy. And comfort, I don't think, is the environment for growth. So, but that's a big con, is that when we go somewhere, we are now the ones cleaning up our home, cleaning up after our kids, teaching our kids to clean up after themselves, like all of what comes with not having someone at home to help you clean. Like huge con. We also have an easy life here in that we live next to my in-laws. My mother-in-law bless her heart, she's the sweetest, sends food all the time. Like, I don't have to cook meals if I don't want to. I do. I love to cook. But if I'm just like having a hard day and tired, she will send over like a 6-course meal and be like, here's dinner. So all of these comforts and kind of ease of the life we've grown into, like out the window when we travel. Like, it's just Hashem and I taking care of everything, whether that's cleaning the house, cooking, making sure, do we have anyone to babysit? No, not really. Like, here we can send my kids to my in-laws if we want a night out. We don't have that. So we lose a lot of those comforts and ease of life. Like, it's a huge trade-off for us. It's probably the biggest.
And I mean, in Egypt we say dala, right? When you come to Egypt, there's a lot of dala. Like, you get the...
I don't know that word.
Dala is... How do you say dala in English? Yeah, you get spoiled or pampered.
Pampered.
We do get pampered here.
For sure.
And, any other cons?
Thinking. So it's interesting because I think one of the cons for my husband that doesn't feel like... I mean, because I'm used to it. I've been outside my country for 10 years, but we're missing things, right? Like, there's engagements, there's weddings, there's parties, there's things that you're used to. In Egypt, it's such a big part of the social fabric to be there for everything, for like, it's almost an obligation, like you don't miss anything. So that's been hard for him in a sense. It's like he's missing things. I'm used to it. Like, haven't been living in the US for 12 years, so I've missed so many things that at a point, like, it's still sad, but at a point I'm just like, okay, like,
you move on.
You move on. And also, it's just part of, like, again, intention. Like, I'm designing a life aligned with what I want, and I know the trade-off is like far.
No, and also it like you were saying, it is a big part of the culture. Like, these big family events, like, people travel for them. Even if you don't live in the same city, you could
we were gone all of Ramadan. Do you know how many azumas we missed? Like, we missed so many azumas. We got guilt text, even from Italy. Even from Italy, we can't miss azumas.
I know, but maybe you can do the azumas now that you're here. You're here for a couple of months. So,
Yay.
This is an open invitation for anyone who wants to invite the family. You can invite them now. But no, away from the azumas and the dala and the pros and cons.
Wait, there's one more. There's one more I'll add. And I think this is an interesting one because this I, in the beginning, saw as a con, and now I see it as a pro. And I think that's something funny about life, right? Something can feel hard and can be really difficult, but it can bring so much growth and everything. So one of the cons was, obviously, when you travel, you can't bring all your things. You are bringing a suitcase each. Like, our family, we're light travelers. If we go for 3 months, we each get a bag. Like, that's it. And if it can't fit in the bag, it's not coming. And even my kids, they have like a small bag for their toys. If the toy does not fit in the bag, it doesn't come with us. And so this felt like a con because it's really hard to pack up your life in a few bags. It's been such a pro. I'm going to flip it because I realized how little we need actually to make us happy, and that things don't make us happy, and how much easier my day is when I have 6 shirts and 5 pants and 3 dresses to choose from, and not this closet of clutter. Fatigue. No decision fatigue. My kids, like, the amount of toys they have at home, it is such a shame. They have so many toys that they don't need, and we're doing a major purge right now.
I have it circled here. You mentioned it in one of your reels. Less is more. We don't need everything we have. We just grow attached to things.
Even in the kitchen, like, I was opening my kitchen drawers to make lunch day, and I got so overwhelmed by the amount of like kitchen karkeba that I have, like things that I don't need. Like, how many spoons do we have? How many serving things? Seriously. Like, I'm doing a purge just to donate half of what's in our house because we don't need it. And my life feels so much more fulfilled when I'm not focused on things and material goods. And my kids, the cleanup is easier. Like, everything is just easier when you have like what you need. And probably consumerism and everything around us has like let us believe we need so much. I like how you flipped
it. Like, it
felt like a con.
It can feel like a con, but then eventually you turn it into a pro by how you actually take your things and you make the best of what you have. And there's always laundry. Like, we just wash the things. We're all pretty much wearing the same clothes all over again.
Yeah. If you start going through your closet, like when I got back, because I had my suitcase, I unpacked into one small piece of the closet. That's all I've touched for like the 10 days I'm back. And I don't even want to go upstairs to the dressing room and see all the stuff I have because it's going to overwhelm me.
Yeah.
Like,
we definitely have so many things that we don't need. Okay, so now you're in the prep phase of moving to another destination. So correct me if I'm wrong. What you're trying to do is that you go somewhere and then you come back to Egypt and then you go somewhere else, right?
So that's what we were doing. That was plan A. Plan A is now out the window. And the new plan A, again, I told you we're like always shifting. Also, if I had told my husband this original plan A, like, it would have been a no. So new plan A is that we're packing up and trying to not come back and go for a full year traveling.
Wow.
That's the new plan A.
Okay. But how do you plan it? You plan like 3 months here, 3 months here, 3 months here, or?
I'm trying to plan out the whole year. I'm a planner. I'm trying to plan out the whole year. But again, the world is
Yeah, I know.
Changing by the day.
You can plan like 1 or 2 destinations in advance and then take it from there.
And see what happens.
But what does it take to plan? Like, do you have to do like financial planning, medical? I'm thinking insurance, because as much as we
I love that you're thinking of those things. I haven't.
You haven't.
This is Hashem's job. This is when I tap in Hashem and I'm like,
does the insurance cover this country? Like,
I don't think we even have insurance.
No.
We should probably.
So, but what do you take into consideration? Like, before you choose a country?
Budgeting is the big one for us. Also because of this Boundless Life program, which makes Worldschooling so easy and so kind of automatic. Like, you arrive and everything's taken care of for you. Because of that, we're trying to find locations. They have campuses. Mm-hmm. So they're in 8 different countries. So those will overlap. And then in the middle, we'll do some things for us with like on our own.
Okay.
But I can't go back to back on our own because it takes a lot of planning.
Yes.
So for example, for Zanzibar, like I have to find accommodation. I have to make sure that accommodation's furnished, good for short-term rental, has strong Wi-Fi because I work online, near a co-working space, walkable because we usually don't have a car where we go, find an education place that'll take my kids for a few months. Mm-hmm. Like, it's a lot of planning. Whereas when I do it with Boundless Life, we show up and like everything is taken care of. But of course, that comes at a higher cost than doing it on our own.
Okay, so it's more expensive to go with the
Boundless. To go with because it's all done for you. It's like
makes sense.
Turnkey solution. The apartments are beautifully furnished with everything you need for kids, like kids' tableware. It's as if you've arrived home from day one. And then, of course, it's an amazing education already set up. Whereas if we go Worldschooling on our own, I'm going to supplement with homeschooling and having to make sure to kind of follow the things I want my children to learn. So it's a trade-off.
So you're trying to do a mix.
Yeah,
okay.
A mix.
So your next destination is Zanzibar. That's going to be completely you guys. You're planning
on our own.
What is after Zanzibar?
So we're hoping to do Montenegro.
Oh, with Boundless?
Yes, okay. With Boundless Life. It's just a beautiful country, and it's somewhere we haven't been. Like, I'm very big on trying to experience new places, and of course, going back to places we love.
That's so hard. Like, you always think, like, should I go somewhere that I love, that I know, that I want to see again, or should I pick one? There's so much to see.
The world, that's the thing, right? There's so much to see, and the world is so big. So
what are we all doing? Absolute favorite place that you visited or lived in?
With kids.
Without kids and with kids.
Ooh, that's a good one. Sri Lanka with kids, I think. Ooh, tie for Sri Lanka and Oman. We love both places. Oman is beautiful. It's so underrated.
Many hidden gems.
And I also don't understand, like, Egypt is so close to Oman. And when I talk to people, and I remember when I was going there, people are like, why would you go there? I'm like, what? Like, what are you talking about? It's amazing. And we had the most amazing trip there because we rented a Jeep with a rooftop tent. And Giselle, my youngest, was 3 weeks old at the time. And everyone thought we were crazy. Again, like, this is a pattern. You're going to notice there's a pattern of people thinking we're crazy. But it was the best trip. She was 3 weeks old. Zane was 3. And we just took that Jeep with the rooftop tent for 3 weeks around Oman and slept in the car. 3 weeks sleeping in the car, tenting. We didn't see people for like days on end. We just wouldn't see people.
I'm biased.
Cooking our own food.
We drive to Oman because it's so full of, and we're still not even half done with it. There's so
beautiful.
Much to see. But yes, going with a 3-week-old, that's...
it was so fun. Yeah. And just sleeping in the tent. And I think that was like a challenging trip for my husband because bless him, he is, I don't want to say bougie, but like, what was the word you used? Yeah, like he's used to this.
Sorry, Hashem.
No, but when you go somewhere like this, you're doing it all on your own, right? Like, I remember I asked, he's gonna kill me for this. I asked Hashem, like, do you know how to start a fire? And he's like, yeah. And then we're like in the middle of nowhere, like in the middle of the desert. He has everything. And he's like struggling a bit. I'm like, Hashem, you said you start a fire. He's like, yeah. I went camping in the White Desert, but he had gone with the Bedouins here in Egypt to do everything for you. And this was their first time camping with just us. And I'm like, no, start to finish. Like, okay,
there you go, Worldschooling for Hashem.
Yeah, like it was great. No, he learned, and Zane actually learned with him. So they went through, and I remember we were figuring out, like, because there's steps to starting a fire, right? You have to go find the leaves, and then you have to use certain kinds of sticks, and then build them a certain way for wind flow. So that was like a whole lesson, which was super fun. But that trip was just such a bonding trip because it was just us. And we were just going from place to place, like finding GPS coordinates without any people and like sleeping in the middle of like a wadi and then sleeping on the beach without any people. And it was amazing. And cooking all our own food together. Like, there's no grocery stores on the way. You stop in Muscat, you stock up everything you need, and then like you're off.
Camping is one of the things that actually my husband got me into. So it's quite the opposite. But then I remember the first time going, I was مش متدلعة, but I'm like, the bathroom, the food, the kaza. But once you do it, honestly, it's you detach and you disconnect, and it's just you and nature and the stars and
it also makes you realize what's actually important, right? Because like, and with kids come in, something that I love about camping and being out in nature is my kids thrive in that environment. Like they are fully themselves. They're not worried about societal boundaries and expectations, and they're just able to fully be themselves and have so much
Wild
fun.
and dirty and
Yes,
free.
and that's what kids are supposed to be, in my
100%
opinion.
agree.
Like as dirty as they can, as wild as they can, like all in.
Oh my God,
It's
you're
the
going to
best.
make me miss camping now.
We should go on a camping trip. We should do it in Egypt.
I love that. Let's go. I feel like we could talk about camping forever. And you're right, we're due for a camping trip, 100%. But these are some of the beautiful moments about traveling and everything. There must have been hard moments that made you realize, but question, oh my God, what am I doing? What are we doing? This is so hard. Why did we come here? Or how are we going to deal with that? Were these moments related to like somewhere you went to, something that didn't go according to a plan? Because you're a planner. What do you do when something goes against your plan?
Happens all the time. And I think, again, you're gonna hate me for this, because you're gonna be like,
I'm
what is
traveling
this
with you?
toxic positivity? But I swear it's not. Almost every challenge that we faced, even in like the moment where it's super intense, and maybe there's times where H and I are going at each other because he forgot to book something, or there have been so many times where like we're traveling, right? And the Egyptian credit card has a limit on foreign currency, but the card, Hashem's the renter, and the car rental has to be in his name with his card, and we can't take the car, and like things are just kind of spiraling, right? And the kids are crying because it's a 2 a.m. flight. Those are the moments I think we all see the most growth. And like, yes, we get at it. And yes, in that moment, I'm like, oh my gosh, we're going to kill each other. But after, it ends up being the best moment for our family and our relationship, because that's where the growth comes from, right? Where that conflict happens, and where you don't have everyone else around you with their opinions, with inserting their ideas on what you should do, and inserting the questions and all of that. When it's just you, that's when you're able to get so kind of strong and tight knit. And like we always say this when we're traveling, we say like we're a team, and we put our hands in the middle, and like the kids know it too, and we say like Team Bagory, and we do it before we go to the airport. We do it like before a long travel day, and it truly does make us into such a team. Like, without sounding cheesy, if we're late for a flight and we're trying to get there, and I tell Zayn like, okay, you're in charge of taking care of your sister. Okay, Hashem, you get the bags. Okay, I'm gonna manage getting the flight info. Let's go. And then we work together. It's the best feeling. And it only comes in those like hard travel moments. Like, that's the time I've seen it shine.
And you probably don't see it as you're in it. You maybe see it once it's done, like, that was a moment, and we got through it as a team. Like, in the moment, you might
every time we take something from it, or like learn something from it, the kids learn something from it. Whether it's H and I like losing our shit at each other, and then after being like, hey, we made a mistake, we were in this moment, here's what happened. Like, that's a learning opportunity for them and for us in our relationship.
And are you able to always carve time for yourselves as a couple?
Yes.
Even while traveling?
More so when traveling. I think life, we underestimate how many obligations and distractions there are in life. Like, even, let's say you live in a house, right? You live in a villa, and every day there's something, whether it's deliveries coming to the door, and then there's errands you have to do, and then there's things in the house that are broken that you have to fix, and all these kind of like life obligations and errands, time that you spend in the car. Like, in Cairo, we spend 2 to 3 hours a day in the car, whether we want to or not. That's time we could be like spending as quality family time. So we like carve out that time, whether it's when the kids are in school and we go on day dates, which we never do here because we have so many obligations. We never just like go out for a lunch together and go for like a nice walk. We have things to do. And when we're traveling, and when you like shed all of those obligations and all of those expectations and all of the house and the errands and all of that stuff, and it's just you, and your obligations are your kids and your work and each other. That's it. Like, those are our obligations. Everything else falls to the side. And there are so many things when you start counting up, there's so many things you're going to find that are like obligations or distractions in your day-to-day that kind of fall to the side. And I'm not saying that when you travel, it's like a long full-time vacation, right? It's not like doing a full-time vacation. We still have the house. We still have the basic cleaning. We still have our jobs, our online work. But all of those other things that kind of get in the way, like, just melt away from the day. It's just the necessity.
If you were to pick any of the countries or cities that you've visited, or perhaps haven't visited yet, and you feel like, if I had to pick one place to stay in or to live, not forever, but like long-term-ish, knowing you, I can't say forever, right? Like long-term-ish, let's call it, like for months and months and months at a time. Can you pick one and say, yeah, I can see myself here?
One. There's so many. I can't believe you're doing this to me. I really love Thailand. Hashem also, I have to consider what Hashem loves. He loves Thailand. Yeah. So I probably do. There are places I love. Like, I love Greece. Mm-hmm. I could definitely live there. And then, of course, there's the questions, right? Like if we're thinking of logistics and stuff, Greece is much easier. It's closer to home. It's closer to family. But if I had to pick based on passion, lifestyle, nature, people, all those things, I think Thailand.
And what's on your wish list? Places you've never been to before, but you really, I'm sure it's a lot, but tell me 3.
Japan.
Yeah.
It's like top of the list. I think there are so many lessons for us and the kids there, and just so much, like the culture is so different. South Korea, I think you can tell we love Asia, and Bali.
Yeah.
Like those are the places. And Hashem's been in Bali like quite longer term and loved it. So now I'm like,
I used to live in Indonesia, so I love it. Like we did this was before kids, so we had our backpacks. We were traveling from one island to one city to the, so
Like
yes,
backpacking
so we
style.
loved living in Southeast Asia. So I agree, Bali is beautiful. And Japan, if I had to summarize Japan in one sentence,
Have you been?
Yes, it's like traveling into the future. You're traveling into the future. Everything is just, I don't know, I can smell it. I'm talking about it now, and you know when you feel like
Yes.
you relate to a city and or a country, and you feel like I can smell it, I can feel it. There's just this core memory.
yes.
Yeah. I have a couple of rapid fire questions for you.
Okay.
That are, this is what I was looking at earlier. I'm like, oh, we got to rapid fire
Okay.
questions. This is so random and fun.
Okay.
Let's go.
Oh, you just say something, I'm just going to answer quickly.
Yeah. Tacos or shawarma?
Tacos.
Okay. Molokhaya or clam chowder?
Molokhaya.
Karkade wala margarita?
Margarita. 100%. معلش كركدي.
Guna wala Cinque Because I know you were just there.
Ooh, like to visit.
I don't know.
Cinque Terre.
Cinque Terre. It's fair enough. Beach or mountains?
Beach.
Okay. Camping or road tripping?
Both, like 2 in 1. Camping while road tripping. Like the Oman trip. Okay, camping.
Okay. Like in a car or actually in a tent?
Okay, yeah, in a tent. Camping,
Tent, yeah.
of course.
City life or slow village living?
Slow village living.
Plan everything or wing it?
You're making me pick one?
Yeah.
Plan everything.
You know something? You can plan to wing it. That's also planning.
Oh, okay, plan to win. No, but I know I need some plans in place.
Okay, yeah,
Type
she
A.
can't. She's like flexible, but not that
Yeah,
flexible.
not that flexible. Like not everything, but plan most things.
Yeah.
And then
Airbnb or hotel?
Airbnb.
Slow mornings or packed itineraries?
Slow mornings.
Local street food or cook at home?
Local street food.
Always. Backpack or suitcase? I know the answer.
Backpack.
One place for a month or 5 countries in 1 month?
One place for a month. There's like no discussion.
I didn't-
3 months. Like
yeah.
I think to really experience a place slowly. Okay, sorry, rapid fire.
No, but 5 in a month, that's...
No, I don't even think I can do like 3 in a month. I really like if I have the choice, slow
especially
travel
with kids,
always.
by the way. I
Slow
think I would
travel
have
always.
answered 5 countries in a month when I was younger.
Yeah,
Just
trying to tick
do
things
more
off.
and
Again,
more.
back to the tick it off. Life is not tick it off list, babe.
Absolutely. Sunrise or sunset?
Sunset.
Nature escapes or cultural experiences?
Nature escapes.
Routine or complete flexibility?
Routine.
Routine and planning. Okay, I see a pattern
Yeah.
here. I see a pattern.
Same here.
That's a good one because this is a question I always have in the back of my mind whenever I see any of your content. I feel like you're in the moment, but you're documenting it. Are you
Yes.
documenting or are you being in the moment most of the day?
In the moment for life, like documenting when I have to. I think it's interesting because there are things that I have to document for like work and for obligations, and I do. But otherwise, I'm in the moment, and sometimes I'm like snapping a photo or snapping like a clip and then putting it together later. But no, totally in the moment.
Okay, yeah, because I feel like you're so intentional with when and how you use your phone.
Yes.
But also you have content of pretty much everything you're doing. So that-
Yes, I
yeah.
always have it there, and I just like quickly, but I try and keep it face down because when my phone's face up, I get sucked in it. Like it's like a whoosh, warp thing. So I keep it face down, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna snap this and put it back face
Okay,
down.
good. That's
my
fair.
strategy.
That's fair. Okay, if I were to give you a get out of jail free card right now, what are you gonna do?
What do you mean?
I love that question. Do you remember Monopoly?
Yeah,
The get out of jail free.
but like
You
get
can
out-
do anything, absolutely anything, and I can guarantee that you're not gonna go to jail. What are you gonna do?
Like you want me to do something illegal, or just anything in life, and I can do it.
I don't know. Where are you
We
going?
really want to live on a sailboat, but we can't afford it. So I'd probably take that sailboat, but like not from someone, from a big company that.
She wants to be politically correct, but okay, you want to
I'm
steal
not
a
going to steal
sailboat.
from a family.
I'm telling you, you're
We
gonna.
want to live on a boat.
Okay.
We really want to live on a boat.
Okay, so you're gonna take a boat.
It's on our list. So that's the only list I tick. Is like this list of kind of things we really want to do in life.
What
So
else is
bucket
on the list?
Oh my gosh, it's a long list. But live on a sailboat, do a year of travel. We really want a 3rd kid. We want to scale our business to be like the go-to baby shop in Egypt. Like there are just these kind of things that like goals, I guess you would call them, or visions. And that's the only list. That's the list that I take.
Okay, but that's a beautiful list.
It is.
I think it's
There's more.
achievable. Like you don't have
There's
to.
so much.
You don't have to steal someone's boat.
No, but you said I would get out of jail
You
free.
are gonna get out of
Okay,
jail.
so can I like get out of jail free, like just get money Can someone? I don't know.
You can
I'll
rob
have
a
to think
bank.
of this.
You can rob a bank.
Okay.
Take the boat and buy the boat.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay, let's rob a bank.
Okay.
I'm always fine with taking from corporations, not people. It's fine.
You're funny. Okay. Another question that I always like to ask is, if I were to give you a magic wand and I'm going to be more specific with you. You can get to take this magic wand and go back to any day and live it again.
Ooh, I know what I want to say, and I know this is also going to trigger people. When I gave birth, that was like the best day of my life, and I loved it. It's probably why I want a third baby.
Your first or second birth?
Both, but I think the second was like, no, maybe the first. I don't know, they were both, either day.
But you know, I have the same answer. I wish I would go to the first, because the emotions that I felt in this first second that I met her and I touched her and I could smell her, I want to go back and capture that feeling again.
It's the best high, by the way.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
many a highs, this is the best one. Like it's like a trip, truly like a trip.
Because it's a love like no other that you feel in that
And
moment.
also just the whole, like everything your body experiences during it. Like it's like an out of body experience. Like I loved it. I would do it again.
I mean, the birth exactly was painful. I'm not going to get into that. That's another conversation. And I feel like we could go forever. We talk about hospitals and home birth and giving birth in Egypt versus Dubai versus Montreal. But that's a topic for another day. We're talking about the actual emotional bond and moment between mother and baby.
No, I think the actual giving birth.
Yeah, we're going to
I
get
want to go back to. But the emotions were great too.
Yeah, the emotions
were great too.
Okay, book, film, song. What's the first book that comes to mind when I say book? Any book that comes to mind. One book.
I'm reading a book right now called 10X, which I really like.
Okay. Song. Any song. It's going to be so random. I have a feeling.
It is. Es Bagory. It's always in the back of my head. I can't get it out. It's like that jingle you hear from a commercial and can't get out. I don't know why.
That is beyond the random that I imagine. I imagined Maharaganat, but you went back to a song.
No, I went to Es Bagory. And there's another Yastakoza one that's also always in the back of my head.
Which one?
Yasta? No.
Which one?
I don't know. I can't remember.
Let's sing it.
I can't remember the tune, but just the Yastakoza.
We'll try to pull it out.
This one. We'll pull it out. I'll find it on my phone. We can end with a dance to it.
And a film?
Film. Oh my gosh, I haven't watched a film in so long. It's funny. What? Can I do a show?
Yes.
Okay, we're watching Queen's Gambit right now, and I really love it. And I'm watching it because my son is like super passionate about chess. So I was like, oh, I'll just watch a film to let me learn about chess because I don't want to actually learn chess. So
is he watching with you? No.
No. He's not watching with me. H and I are watching.
Yeah. It's a bit too advanced.
It's really good though.
Yeah, it is really good. I remember it was a COVID watch. I think we watched it during COVID.
Oh, I'm behind. No, I just started.
Yeah. And if Arielle today goes back to, I want to say your 20-year-old self, before you met Hashim, before you ever thought of the life that you're living right now, going to Egypt and all these places and even becoming a mother, what are you going to tell her? What are you going to tell your 20-year-old self?
I think to just trust my intuition. I think it's something that I'm doing anyway, but just a reminder, because it can be really hard to like follow that intuition, that gut feeling. And again, what I struggled with most in Egypt is that I felt like everyone that I've talked to and met has like kind of gone against what I'm feeling. Like I'll share something and it's like, no, you shouldn't do this, or this isn't the way you do it, or like kind of those voices of doubt around you. And it's really hard to then like tune into, no, this is what I feel is right. This is what I feel inside. So just to always listen to that and not let like other people's opinions or judgments or anything like sway me at all. Because there have been times in my 10 years here I've let it.
Of course.
Like it's so hard not to.
Yeah.
So I think just always kind of sticking with that. Because every time that I've gone against my gut feeling or intuition and like listened to other people, every single time it goes to shit.
But that's
like,
how you learn.
Every single time.
But that's
it is.
Yeah.
It is. But I wish I just like stuck to it. Because that's what I've always done and that's what like I want to do. But there's something really hard here. Like something about the environment makes it really hard to follow that. I'm not sure what it is. I don't know if it's like that there's more judgment or that more people live like similarly and don't like things that are outside the norm. Like I'm not sure what it is that causes it, but I feel like it's really hard to tune into that and do like you do you, right? Without.
It's very hard, and it's definitely even harder if you live here. Like I find it hard and not even living here. Like everybody has certain expectations of everybody and you need to be living a certain way or they will come and offer their advice. And somehow it starts to mess with you even if you don't want to hear
with
it.
your head.
Yeah.
It's like having a million voices inside your head. I'm like, no, I just want my voice in my head. I just want like what I'm feeling. But also I think I have such a privilege that, not a privilege, but I guess I'm feeling that way, right? As someone who's a foreigner, who doesn't have family here, who doesn't have like that core social circle here. Like if I feel that way and I talk to friends and they're like, how do you think we feel, right? Like we have this worry about going out and always being judged and things being reported back to our family and all these other layers of it. So I'm definitely I can imagine as someone like listening to this who's from here and like has grown up with that, how hard it is to break out of that kind of cycle and break out of that, not path, but break out of this way where you're always trying, I don't know, like it's like a tunnel vision, right? Like the horse blinders, just to blind out everything around you and focus on you and your journey and how you want to raise your kids and how you want to live and who you want to marry and all of those things. I can't imagine how hard that is if you're someone like from here who grew up.
It is very hard, but it's also getting easier, like thanks to the life that we're living and everything that we're exposed to. But there's one beautiful line that you said, like, I just want to tune everything out and listen to my own voice in my own head. I think if everybody can exercise doing that, they're going to know what they're going to do. They will know.
Your body tells you, by the way, your body tells you, like there's a gut feeling. And I really believe, no offense to men, but I believe as women, we have this so much like more in tuned with it, and especially as mothers. Like when I became a mother, that's the thing that I noticed changed the most about me, is that all of a sudden this voice, I was so tuned into it. And I remember during pregnancy, everyone was giving me opinions on how to parent, what to do. Right when I became a mom, I was like, I know exactly what I'm supposed to do. And it's what nothing any of you shared. This is how I want to do it. This is like all of that kind of just honed in. And it's been like the best. Like I think the best way you can live is just listening to yourself and your gut and
absolutely
yourself.
I think this is one of my favorite things about you, is that you are living an unfiltered life. And like, we may not have gone into any gray, ugly, taboo conversations here, but we went into a life that is very unconventional, very unfiltered. She's living her own life. And guess what? If you want to get inspired, you know, here she is. You can go on.
And you can live your own life
Yes.
though. Don't live mine. Like
Yeah.
if you see and you're just like, no, I don't want to do this, this, or this, you don't have to. Like I'm never trying to share something in the sense of, I think everyone should do this, because I think that's a really bad idea. Like that's what makes life beautiful, right? What makes life beautiful is that we're all living our own path. We're all living our own journey. We're all living on our own values, our own. And I think what makes life not as beautiful is when we're all trying to be the same and follow the same path. Like that's so boring. Imagine if everyone lived the exact same life and followed the same steps and said like, we're all going to get married at 22 to this person that like we were, you know, tick these boxes, and then we're all going to have kids at 25, and then we're all going to send kids to, like, we shouldn't be ticking again. Like, create your own life. That's all. And, like, your gut will tell you. Like, I always think, like, anytime an idea comes in my head, I'm like, this idea came in for a reason, right? And I always tell Hashem this. I'm like, the universe, God, whatever, put this idea or dream in my head or heart for a reason. Like it wasn't just plopped in of like, oh, that's a nice idea. Okay, continue my day. No, it was put in my head because this is something I should either pursue or explore or check into. It didn't come in our head like for no reason, right? I don't know.
Absolutely.
That's what I always try and follow.
I mean, if we're going to summarize this beautiful conversation, is just listen to your intuition, follow your gut feeling, live a life that you want to live. Just focus on your voice inside your own head and try to create the life that you want to live.
That's it.
And
You said it all in 1 second.
Yeah, and honestly, it's never too late. You know, it is never too late. You can start at 30, at 40, as a parent, as single.
Oh my gosh,
as a
my
couple,
grandma's
anything.
85. Have you seen my grandma on my
I've
page
seen
before?
her in your stories. She's so cute.
She's
Bless
the cutest.
her.
She's 85. She was widowed when her daughters were all under the age of 5, like young widow, left with 3 kids. She went back to school. She's the reason I'm into therapy and stuff. She became a psychiatrist. She now has like totally carved her own path, and she continues to change that path. Like even at 85, she has a boyfriend. Like she has a boyfriend just because she's like, oh, I met this Italian guy. And she's just constantly like
Go
breaking
grandma.
norms. Yes, and she's doing things because she wants to, right?
Yeah.
And she even does things sometimes, and we'll have a call and she's like, I'm going to do this. And I know people in the family are going to be upset because it's like, oh, I'm going to miss so-and-so's wedding because I want to go on this trip. And she does it because she wants to. And she always tells me, I only have, if I'm lucky, right? If I'm really lucky, 15 years left on this earth. If she lives to 100, if she's super lucky, 15 years, why would I not take every opportunity and do everything?
Absolutely.
And it's interesting because I see like this contrast, right? You see a lot of grandmas and elderly, they're just staying home and doing the same thing. And I'm sure they must have so many like dreams in their heart and things that they want to do and things they've like always want to do for their lives, but they're always like holding back because maybe it's not the societal norm or their kids wouldn't approve or...
You reminded me of my own grandma. I remember I went to my grandma's wedding when I was 15 years old, and a lot of people were like, you're going to your grandma's wedding? Like, yeah.
She fell in love.
She's alive, you know, bless her. She's with us. She's still with us, and bless her, may she have a long, healthy life. But like, she fell in love and she's getting married. Like,
Yeah, good for
I get
her.
to say that I went to my grandma's wedding and she came to mine. How many people can say that?
No, it's amazing.
Exactly.
I think it's amazing. And my grandma's so happy. She's so happy and she's so full of life. And I genuinely think that's why. Like, she's constantly reinventing herself, carving her own path, doing things that she wants to just because she wants to do them. Like, she came with me to Morocco with a backpack and went backpacking. And she's like, I've never traveled like this. She usually travels like business class. She's like, but I want to try it. Like, I just want to try to backpack with you. She didn't love it. She was very uncomfortable in the hostel.
But at least she tried it.
She tried it. I made her stay in a hostel in a room with like bunk beds.
Than having an idea and not actually going through with it.
She tried it. Now she knows she never wants to stay in a hostel again.
Yeah.
But she tried it.
I wouldn't stay in a hostel. I'd choose camping over hostel 100.
I made her stay in a hostel.
Yeah, no, I would go
in
camping.
College.
But we need to go camping together. I think that's going to be fun. And I know what we're doing while we're camping and where we're going. I have a lot of ideas.
Okay.
No, is there anything actually that we didn't cover that you think you want to cover before we wrap this up?
Yes, there is.
Go.
Okay. No, I think there's something that, and I don't know, maybe we did cover on it, but I think when people ask kind of why I've chosen to homeschool and world school, aside from what I want to do, aside from how I want to live, aside from all of that, the education system, like when we think of what our kids are being taught, right, and what skills are going to be needed for the future, I think there's such a misalignment. And it's something I find really fascinating. And I actually love talking to my husband about, because with the rise in AI, with all of this stuff, I don't think what our kids know will be the most important thing. I think how they think, how they're able to present, how they're able to connect with people, how they're able to work across cultures, like all of these skills I see as what will make people, let's say, successful and able to do well in the future. So it's a big reason we're choosing like a less conventional path and less traditional path, is because I'm like, everything again is done with intention. It's not like I'm just keeping my kids home or traveling because I really want to travel the world, or because I don't want to wake up for school in the morning.
No.
Like there are like reasons, but I'm really like, everything is intentional. And I think when you start to think about why and how you want to do things, you're also going to find like so many kind of gaps. And I think it's really important as humans that we look into those and we don't just brush them aside. Like if we have that feeling that something doesn't work or something's uncomfortable, like to dig deep into it and ask yourself and start questioning. And, you know, critical thinking is so important. And I think it's a really good skill for us and for our kids.
And it's a skill that constantly needs to be developed.
Yes.
Like you need to keep developing. It's not something that you learn and khalas, it's done.
100%.
It's not done.
Even now with like AI and the stuff coming out, I see people all the time on social media just reposting things, right? Without like fact checking. And I think just that skill.
Oh, don't get me started.
Right? That skill for our kids to be able to look at something on the internet, whether it's news, whether it's media, and be able to say, is this real? Is this true? Why is this being put out there? What is the purpose of this? Who's creating it? Ask these questions is so important. And I don't think it's something that's taught in the traditional system.
No.
And we're spending so much time on that, even with my 6-year-old, on those life skills and the critical thinking. And like, I'm able to design kind of education around what I want him to learn and what I think he should learn. And it's really cool to be able to pivot and do that. So I think it's kind of an underrated aspect of this all.
I can't wait to see what you're up to next. What are you going to do? Where are you going to take the kids? What are you going to teach them? Honestly, I personally enjoy following your journey a lot, and you inspire me in so many different ways, Arielle.
Thank you.
And I'm so glad we got to have this conversation, this very unfiltered conversation. I know we could go on for hours and hours and hours, but I just wanted to give like a snippet or like a view for anyone who's curious about this kind of life. Like it's doable. It's, you know, even if you want to do it for just a year, you know, take that year.
Just a month. Yeah. Just a month. Leave your comfort zone for 1 month. Like there's nothing that says you have to redesign your life, right? Try something different. Push yourself out of your comfort zone. Do something that everyone around you, if you told them, would say that's crazy. Why are you doing that? Do it.
Yeah.
Do it just because you want to, or just because you want to try something. Why not?
Now I'm getting a song in mind based on everything we're saying. Do you know sunscreen? No sunscreen. Like, okay, I'm gonna send you the song. We're gonna wrap this up, and I'm gonna send her a song, and she's gonna sing, and then we're gonna be singing Istakoza and camping, and I don't know what else. But thank you so much for your time. This was lovely.
Thank you.